Welcome to the What is Stoicism podcast.
In the school of life, we don't often get to choose our assignments. Day to day, fortune gives us homework that ranges from easy to endure to difficult to deal with. We may wish the task facing us were different, or simpler, or more conveniently timed. But eventually, whatever has been placed before us must be handled if we don't want to create greater problems for ourselves later. In our actual school days, most of us probably felt overjoyed when the teacher forgot to set a homework assignment. We could go home and enjoy the unexpected gift of free time. And when we did get homework, it was always a pleasant surprise to discover that it was easy to complete. But Epictetus, the strict Stoic teacher that he was, warned his students against carrying this attitude into life. How, after all, can character improve if everything is easy? How can courage develop without something frightening to face? How can self-control be strengthened without temptation? How can justice be practiced without difficult people and complicated situations? To encourage those learning from him, Epictetus used the example of gladiators. Even among Caesar's gladiators, he says, some become restless when no one sends them into the arena or arranges an opponent for them. They pray to God and beg their handlers for a fight. Epictetus then challenges his students. Will none of you display the same spirit? His point isn't that we should recklessly seek out suffering or danger for its own sake. Rather, we should stop assuming that difficulty is an interruption to the good life. Difficulty is often the place where the good life is practiced. We shouldn't be praying for less difficulty, according to Epictetus. In a sense, we should be ready for more, because more difficulty means more opportunity to test and strengthen the virtues we claim to value. He drives the point home with the example of a former student who complained about the assignment he had been given. I don't like this kind of assignment, the student said. Epictetus' response was blunt. It's up to you to receive only the assignments you like. You've been given a particular body, particular parents and siblings, a particular country and a particular station in life, and now you ask for the assignment to be changed. Don't you have the resources to make good use of what you've been given? The student's job, Epictetus suggests, isn't to demand a different task. His job is to carry out the given task well. The same applies in the school of life, whose classes we take place every day. We're set all kinds of assignments. Some test our self-control, others test our courage, others test our ability to treat people fairly and kindly when doing so is inconvenient. Others test our patience, honesty, humility, or endurance. It isn't up to us what those assignments are. It's up to us to carry them out well. We may not always succeed, but if we approach them with good intentions, we'll always learn something in the process. This connects to a key characteristic of Stoicism. The ancient Stoics didn't practice and teach their philosophy for prestige. They weren't motivated primarily by personal gain, fame, or the desire to appear impressive. While applying Stoicism helped them flourish in their own lives, passing it on to others was also a form of service. In fact, these two endeavours weren't separate. To live well and to contribute to the common good were part of the same philosophical life. Acts done for the benefit of others weren't optional extras. They were essential to the proper practice of Stoicism. Take the virtue of courage. A good teacher could explain what courage meant and how it should be practiced. But explanation alone wasn't enough. Such a teacher would also demonstrate courage openly, facing fears, standing up for what was right, and acting well, despite the risk of negative consequences. This wasn't done to show off, or to elevate the teacher above those still learning. It was done to lead by example. It wasn't meant to dishearten those who lacked courage, but to embolden them by showing what was possible. There's a passage in Stephen Pressfield's Gates of Fire, his novel about the Battle of Thermopylae, that helps illustrate this point. In a speech to rouse his troops, Leonidas, king of the Spartans, tells his brothers and allies that wherever the fighting is bloodiest, they can expect to find the Spartans at the forefront. But he then adds an important instruction. The other soldiers should not yield preeminence in valor to the Spartans. They should strive to outdo them. Courage, he says, isn't a Spartan monopoly. This is a powerful idea. The courage shown by the Spartans wasn't meant to remain unique to them. It wasn't a performance staged for admiration. It served not only to improve their own effectiveness in battle, but also to inspire greater courage in others. The same applies to Stoic virtue. Whether we're practicing courage, justice, wisdom, or temperance, we aren't doing so only for ourselves. We're also helping others see what those virtues look like in practice. Every assignment fortune gives us becomes potentially a lesson not only for our own improvement, but for the encouragement of those around us. When we respond to difficulty with patience, someone else sees that patience is possible. When we act with fairness under pressure, someone else sees that justice can survive inconvenience. When we remain steady in adversity, someone else sees that fear need not be obeyed. When we exercise self-control in a world of excess, someone else sees that moderation isn't weakness but strength. And if we observe someone who seems to be doing better than us, our response shouldn't be envy. We aren't in competition with them. Their example isn't an insult to our progress, it's an invitation. If they show courage, let it inspire ours. If they show discipline, let it strengthen ours. If they show kindness, let it remind us to be kind. To outdo someone in virtue shouldn't mean defeating them, but rising because they helped us see a higher possibility. In this sense, every difficult assignment matters. Not because we'll handle each one perfectly, but because each gives us a chance to practice. Each gives us a chance to learn. Each gives us a chance to become a living example of what philosophy can do. So whatever assignment fortune sets you today, try not to reject it too quickly. It may be testing exactly the virtue you most need to strengthen. And if you carry it out well, you may help someone else carry theirs.